Hi, everybody. A few days ago, I posted a video, and over 1 million people watched it. And I urged people to not work until they're dead and to retire as soon as they can and enjoy their life. Tremendous response. And ironically, 48 hours later, I'm in the hospital, battling something. I'm sure I'll be fine, but it sure sucks. And it got me to say, wow, I hope you guys now can follow that advice, seeing that something bad even happened to me. Please, guys, get a financial advisor and do everything you can to try to enjoy the remaining years of your life. Have a good evening.
Why would you give up a career of 22 years and take early retirement and take a huge hit on your pension? And why would you do all this? Well, it's simple for me. I'm 56 years old now. My dad died at 59. His dad died somewhere between 59 and 61. And I'm looking at me going, even though I take way better care of myself and I take the right supplements and I do the shit that I'm supposed to do, and I have 2 toddlers running around that I'm chasing every day, and we're out doing things, there's still a part of me that says, you can die at 59 too. So it became more important for me to spend time with my kids, because my 26-year-old never got that dad. And I'm like, I'll be damned if these kids grow up someday and go, I don't know this guy.
This is what I want to know. What's your age that you plan on retiring? Because it's up to you. The choice is yours. Because I keep getting mixed emotions about this question. Because a lot of people be saying that, what's the point of retiring early? You're going to miss out on your benefits. But sometimes people have various reasons why they want to retire early. And I don't think retiring early is a bad thing, because it depends on your situation, your circumstance. Everybody's situation is different. So in reality, I think this is everybody's dream. They just don't want to admit it. And some people feel like they can't afford to retire. And that's sad, because at the end of the day, you're supposed to make sure you're good when it's time for you to retire. But a lot of people don't think about that. And due to this economy, a lot of people can't save. So that's why, even if you work in your job, I feel like you should always have another alternative too to make money. You can keep your job if you want. But if something goes wrong with that job and they let you go, you ain't got to start back from square one. That's my thoughts on the situation. I want to know, what's your retirement age? And is retiring a bad thing for you, or you think you have no problem with retiring early? A lot of people want to know that.
As a Gen X guy who retired a couple years ago, here's a reality that most people don't want to talk about or tell you. When your whole life has been busy with work and kids and, everything, once you retire, there are days that you're gonna just be fucking bored. That's the way it is. You gotta figure out a way to deal with it.
I took my Social Security benefits at 62. Now, according to the government, my full retirement age is 67. But I looked at the amounts, the difference in the amounts of the checks from 62 to 67. And those 5 years worth of checks from 62 to 67, the difference in the amounts, I would have to draw like 12 years past 67 to get that money back. So it only made sense to me to take it at 62. Because with my family history and my luck, I figured I was better off getting those checks from 62 to 67 than taking the risk of surviving that long past 67. Because that's the government's plan, They expect us to die. But anyway, since 62 is considered early retirement, even though I took a lesser amount, they only allow me to make so much money. It's less than $25,000. If I make over that, they take, for every $2 I earn, they take $1 from my benefits. Yeah, my benefits. Yeah, my Social Security. Even though I took a lesser amount by starting to draw at 62. That's why you see so many retirees saying, well, I can't work too much, I can only work part-time. Because if they work too much and make too much money, they end up going backwards because they take their benefits. And I think that sucks. I think it sucks. Now, the chances of me making over that $24,000 and whatever it is are slim to none. But still, if I did, they would deduct, for every $2 I make, they'll deduct $1 off my Social Security check. All you do is work your whole life. They just, God. I took the lesser amount. So you're going to punish me if I make some money? The government don't care. They do not care about us. And hell, he's probably figuring out some way to take our Social Security totally. Lord knows they're already working on Medicare, which you pay for, by the way. So in America, there's no such thing as happy retirement. It's don't make too much money, or we're going to take your money. Fuck us old people, right?
You know what no one tells you about retiring early? They don't warn you about the weird stuff. Not the money spreadsheets, not the what about benefits conversations, not are you sure looks. I'm talking about the quiet surprises. The ones that sneak up on you while you're standing in your kitchen, in your bathrobe, at 10:30 in the morning on a Tuesday, and you're wondering why you're tired and you've done absolutely nothing. Because retiring early doesn't feel like crossing a finish line. It feels more like wandering into a room where the lights are a little bit dimmer and the noise is gone and nobody is telling you what you're supposed to be doing next. And you're standing there thinking, okay, now what? Today I want to talk about the biggest surprises of early retirement for me, and the ones that nobody puts into the glossy brochures. And I want to be completely honest with you and maybe add a little humor to it, because if we can't laugh at this stage in our life, what are we even doing? So, surprise number one. Here's what I thought would happen when I retired early. I thought I'd get up early and suddenly I'd be energized, motivated, and completely organized. Maybe even do some yoga at sunrise. What actually happened? Some days I woke up feeling like I could reorganize the house, film a video, go for a long walk, and cook something pretty ambitious for me. And other days, I needed a nap right after getting dressed. And not because I was lazy, but because for the first time in decades, my body was finally allowed to speak. No alarm clock overriding it, no kids pulling at for your attention, and no meetings forcing you to do anything. Retirement doesn't give you more energy. It gives you honest energy. And honest energy is unpredictable. Some days it whispers, and some days it disappears altogether. Some days it shows up at 9 p.m. when you're already in your pajamas thinking, where were you at noon? This is when you realize your body has spent years running on adrenaline and obligation. Now it's recalibrating, and recalibration looks suspiciously like resting, walking, staring out the window, doing one thing a day and calling it enough. Which brings me to the most uncomfortable surprise. Surprise number two. On paper, retiring early made sense. The numbers worked. The pension was there, no debt, no panic, and yet I'd stand in a store holding something small, nothing extravagant, and think, do I need this or do I just want this? Because when you stop earning money, money stops being, I'll just make more. Instead, it becomes, that's coming from what I already have. And no one prepares you for how emotional that feels. You start measuring money in strange units, months, years, future comfort, what if scenarios. Not because you're irresponsible, but because your nervous system isn't caught up with the math yet. You realize early retirement isn't about trusting your spreadsheet. It's about trusting yourself. And that takes time. Surprise number three, For years, maybe even decades, we were told, find your purpose, stay productive, make sure it's meaningful, leave a legacy, and then you retire early and you think, okay, where did I put my purpose? And for a while, quietly, something shifts. You stop asking, what am I meant to do? And start asking, how do I want to feel? Peace becomes more attractive than ambition. Enough becomes more comforting than more. Quiet feels richer than busier ever did. And this is the part that nobody talks about because it doesn't sell well.
Let's get into it. So a lot of people have requested this video right here. Okay, I have been speaking on retirement and taking Social Security at 62. I'm taking at 62. That's what I'm doing it. I'm bent on doing that. I have my reasons for doing that, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay, now, people have been asking me this question. You know what? Well, what happens at 62 if you are still working full time and you choose to take it? Well, let me go ahead and read right here to you. Okay, I'm going to read it verbatim to you. Okay, I'm not making this up. This is what it reads. Okay, so here we go. Let me put on my glasses and let's get to it. So, yes, you can draw Social Security at 62 while working full time. But if you earn over the annual limit of $24,480 in 2026, the Social Security Administration will temporarily withhold $1 in benefits for every $2 you earn above that limit. Benefits are not reduced once you reach full retirement age, 67 for those born 1960 or later. And I just want to read one other thing. Withheld money is not lost. Funds withheld due to high earnings are not lost. The SSA recalculates your benefit at full retirement age to increase your monthly payment, accounting for the earlier withholding. Okay, so you can make up to $24,480 without penalty. But once you exceed that, then they start withholding your benefit with the calculation that they set. Okay, they will start reducing that number. Okay, now that money that they reduce, you get it back at full retirement age. So we need to be clear about this and understand what it is. Okay, so that's what happens when you work. I'm fine with that. I'm at 62. I'm taking it regardless. It's a matter of principle for me. A bird in the hand is better than two in the bush. I'm going to take that money from me and I'm going to invest it. Even if I'll probably be doing this, my coaching business, teaching at the university, but that's just me. Not everybody should do that.
Y'all notice, man, a lot of people, like within like a year or two of them retiring, they end up passing away shortly after they retire. A person goes 30, 40 years working the same job, and you got a really, really good career, you make really good money, and you're used to getting up every day, sticking to that same exact routine. And then it's like you get to the goal. You get that gold watch for your company for 30 or 40 years of consistent and continued service. Just to retire and pass away within a year or two after retirement. I believe that that's because when people retire, their body is used to doing things every day. In my opinion, I believe that people just shut down, man, because they don't have a hobby, like to go fishing, go golfing, go for walks. A lot of people, they work their whole life and then they retire and they just sit around the house doing absolutely nothing, man. And I believe that's what ended up happening to most people. I did a video like this last year, and someone recently commented on that video and asked would I do another video similar to it. Now, I do know friends back home where I was born and raised at in Indiana who actually worked their whole entire life. They got their house paid off. They got all 3 of their vehicles paid off. They had everything paid off, and they celebrated their retirement. I even went to their retirement party, and within a year or 2 after they retired, they were no longer with us. And I believe that those people should have been doing a whole lot more with their life when you retire. A lot of people think that the whole goal to retire is just to sit around and do nothing after retirement. That's not the truth. You have to find a hobby. That's the reason why you see older people working at Walmart, bagging groceries and stuff. People laugh at those people, but do you really realize that those people actually got it made? They're just doing what they got to do just to keep themselves busy. You need to do like some type of goal, set goal for yourself, like go fishing, go golfing. You see a lot of older people just walking around the mall without shopping bags or anything like that because they're not really shopping. They're inside the mall just walking around. They walk a couple miles a day to keep their energy going, to keep their body moving and stuff like that. If you allow your body to shut down, it could potentially shut completely down because that's not what your body's used to. Your body's used to getting up and going to work every single day. And that's my opinion, I believe, why a lot of people pass shortly after retirement. So if you plan on retiring sometime soon, within the next 5 to 10 years, make sure that you have a plan set in motion so that when you retire, you will be doing more than just sitting around the house. I mean, even being around like your grandkids and stuff, playing with your grandkids and stuff like that, going jogging, going to the gym, those things like that will actually keep your body moving, keep your blood flowing. A lot of people sit around, they start getting cramped up, their back start hurting a lot, and a lot of people don't know that a lot of back pain actually comes from sitting around doing absolutely nothing. Yes, it does hurt to get up, but when you start moving around, your body starts feeling better. So if you plan to retire, make sure that you have a routine set for yourself. Thanks for watching.
Today I sent an email to my boss. I sent a resignation letter. I decided to retire. My retirement starts in 2 weeks. It wasn't planned. It's pretty sudden. I'm 57 and I have very mixed feelings. It's bittersweet. I'm just basically feel like I'm on the verge of just walking off the cliff into the unknown. And there are definitely so many possibilities, but also it's very scary.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. I'm an involved dad. I would like to be more involved with my kids. But I always get comments, oh, you're a good dad. And I appreciate that. But one thing that annoys me is when you tell them, as a dad, like you want to go to your daughter's game, you want to go to your son's game, you want to go to, this event or that event. They always look at you like, what? No, you're supposed to stay here and work. You know what I mean? It's like, dog, I want to be involved with my kids. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, y'all can fire me, y'all can get rid of me, but my kids are always going to be there. So where do you think my priorities lie? You know what I mean? When it comes to importance, you know what I'm saying? That shit always drives me crazy. It's like, they want fathers to be involved, but then when they do, it's like you got bullshit like, jobs or whatever in the way. Talking about, oh, no, you're supposed to stay here. Like, they don't say that, but that's how they act pretty much. And it's kind of annoying. But anyway, just felt like making this video. Peace.
So a week ago, I retired from the Social Security Administration. I worked there for 23 years, and I finally walked away. They offered early outs. I took mine, and there's no looking back. And I just want to say I'm excited about this new chapter in my life. In addition to retiring from the federal government, I've moved and I'm basically starting a whole new life. And I want to tell somebody, if you're on the fence about making a change, don't think too hard about it. Just do it. If it's been weighing on you, if it's been on your mind, that's your sign that you need to act, you need to go. Now, I don't want to tell you to do it without a plan, but stop thinking, just do it.
A lot of Americans are retiring before they reach full retirement age, but it's often not because they choose to. According to new research from the Transamerica Center for Retirement Studies, many Americans need to retire early due to health issues such as physical limitations or disabilities, or losing a job or an organizational change at their employer. Many Americans retire before they are financially ready to. And while you can file for retirement benefits at 62, you face a 30% reduction in your monthly checks compared to waiting until full retirement age, which is 66 or 67 depending on your birth year. Conversely, if you wait until 70 to collect Social Security, you get a 30% boost in your monthly benefits. But Transamerica found only 4% of Americans do this. The typical respondent to the survey said they expect to live until 90, meaning if they need to retire early, they may have to stretch or even exhaust their savings, especially if they have a financial shock at some point or they need to pay for long-term care. Despite the challenges of retirement, nearly 9 in 10 said they were generally happy, and they have close relationships with family and friends. But the CEO and president of Transamerica says people who are forced to retire early should serve as a cautionary tale, advising others to maintain their health and keep their skills up to date, while also educating themselves about retirement and financial planning and saving money.
It is so sad that there are so many people out here that don't realize they cannot retire until it's too late. And I was literally talking to a lady who had commented underneath one of my videos because she was talking about how her brother did everything right. He worked at a job that had a pension. He was contributing to the pension. He comes to retirement age, he's ready to retire, and guess what? Comes to find out he don't have enough money to be able to retire and live off of that money. So what does he have to do? Now he has to get a job, a part-time job, just to make ends meet. Not a part-time job to get out here and kick it and enjoy his life. Not a part-time job to go and travel and do all the things that he wants to do. No, to simply make ends meet, because nobody was there to sit him down and say, let's run the numbers and make sure that you have enough saved to live the life that you want to live. And most people don't find out until it's too late. Y'all, do not let that be your story. Because I can tell you right now, I have worked with enough people over the years to know for a fact that 99% of the time, that paycheck of yours is not going to be enough to build the future that you want and the future you deserve. You will not have enough money. And this is happening to people every day. So I am trying to spread this awareness out so that you can make sure that you are not the next one with the same story. Don't be out here looking back with regret because you didn't do something when you know you could have.
Now, let me just say what everybody's been thinking when it comes to this situation. This is everybody's dream, to retire early, to retire at 40, 55. But a lot of people feel like the way cost of living is just continuing to rise. They're afraid to retire. And it's been some sad situations because some people was forced to retire by default. Their health was declining, a job let them go, and they've been working for 15 plus years, probably 20. But these are the things that we don't think about because we're so worried about right now and what if this, what if that. So it just clogs our thoughts up where we can't do nothing. And that's crazy because, like how some of these people were stating, some people just don't make it after retirement. So let's talk about health problems. You may be working 24 plus hours a week, more, 40, 50. All this time while you're working, you're probably not getting enough sleep. You're worried about paying your bills instead of getting a proper rest, exercise, and keeping your health in place. These are things we don't worry about because you have medical benefits, right? But you're not taking care of your health the whole time because you're too busy at work. So that's why a lot of people are just walking away. And I know it's a sad situation because they're putting their peace over a check because it's always going to seem like it's never enough. So in reality, if you're always thinking like, what if this, what if that, you're going to be too scared to retire. You just got to think about it. And then I was seeing some videos where people were saying that nobody tells them about retirement, but they get bored when they retire. And that's crazy to me because there's so much stuff that you can do in the world. And I used to have conversations about this topic all the time because people don't think about that. They think about just working their whole life. They're so used to working. But in reality, you can find something to do. And that's crazy that a job had to make you get up, go out, and do something. People really don't do nothing else outside their job. And that's the scary thing. Because even if you want to do something for yourself, it's not the job's obligation for you to be taken care of after you retire. And I know that's sad to say, but this is what they want you to do. They want you to prepare. A lot of people are not prepared because they live life for right now. And that's the sad part. They don't care about their future. And hopefully you make it to see your future. But at the end of the day, you got to make sure you're good. I can see you getting a job, you using it as a stepping stone. But in reality, you're supposed to have something saved up, 401k or whatever. But 30 years from now, it may never be enough for the way this economy is going now. But you can always find something to do. So if you feel like you got to keep moving, if you're not working because you at the age, but just think about it. Have you been eating the right foods, exercising, doing whatever to keep your body running properly, even while you're working? But in reality, the average person don't. I'm just being real with you because it's hard to do. When you're so much focused on the shift, you really can't function for real. You always at the job 8 hours a day. They need to cut back on work hours. It's too long. So it depends on your mindset because I don't think no money is worth your peace. Because what's rich? What's having money if you still ain't free mentally? So I want you to just take that into consideration because half of the time it's not that much to retire on. So if you're thinking that you're going to get bored when you retire, find something to do. Go to the park every day. Treat your outside life like it's a shift. And I bet you will be just fine. And I know people are always worried about them penalizing their social security and all that. Like they were stating in the video, you'll get that back. Stop being worried about money all the time. I know you need money to pay your bills, but it's to the point that you risking your well-being, your health, and your peace for money that you're banking on. You're always relying on something. That's why you in that mindset. Stop relying on something all the time. Just work. Start learning how to live your life outside the job. And I know a lot of people used to work. They don't know no other life. But once you start living your life outside the job for you, you'll become stress-free. And you could take that information, apply it to you. If it don't apply to you, this ain't for you. But this is my take on this situation. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Leave it in the comments. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one. Peace.